Yeah, okay. So a very warm welcome for this Q&A for the film HOMO SPERANS from Andrei Konchalovsky. And unfortunately, we can't be in Cottbus on the spot and to be with an audience, but hopefully in the next years. And I'm happy to welcome Ekaterina Zenovich, who is the scriptwriter of the film, and Ekaterina Veshcheva, who did the post-production of the film. So thank you for being here online. And I was the one who selected the film for the Russian Day program. And when I saw the film, I was really very pleased to have this documentary about what Russians think about Russia, about the future, about their future, about the situation in the country. And then I was a bit surprised that there was a scriptwriter for this kind of documentary. So I want to ask first Ekaterina Zenovich about how did she come to this project and how all this project started.
First of all, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to participate in your festival. About the screenwriter of documentary, it's a good question. First of all, their first aim was to find the people, persons who was the heroes of our film. It was a great and very long process because we used to ask documentary filmmakers to help us. We asked the Russian state television company to help us. We asked one of Russian radio companies to help us. And Andrei Konchalovsky recorded some words for all the people of our country. And he asked them to tell us some stories about the people who makes the life better. And after all, it was necessary to communicate to these people, to select some person for our documentary. It was the first part of my job. Mm-hmm. Then it was necessary to make a puzzle because we had a lot of brilliant persons in Russian. We can't show all of them in our documentary. So it was necessary to select this person, woman, man, a worker, a farmer, and so on. After that, it was necessary to go to these persons and to communicate to them. It also is a part of my job. And after all, it was necessary to make a puzzle in post-production. It also is my job. And all of this is a сценарий, как будет? Script, yeah. I'm sorry for my bad English.
No, it's very good. Okay, and so how did you find the people? You wrote an application and the people could like just send you something, or did you have already some kind of idea where to look, or some known people you have known in some other circumstances? Or?
All the persons are absolutely unknown. Maybe they are known in their region, but not known in Moscow or St. Petersburg. Mm-hmm. I called to some persons who was interesting for me by the story, location, personality, and I telephoned them, and I spoke to them for long hours, and then sometimes I went to their region and spoke to them in the location. And after all, we decided if it is our hero or not.
Okay. And another question, what is interesting for me and also probably for the audience, probably you have met hundreds of people in this way. So how was made then the final selection? Who will be in the film or not? Was it like in terms of the topic? Was it in terms of man or female? Or what was the criteria for you? Who finally was chosen to be part in the film?
In fact, we shooted much more persons. We shooted maybe 25 persons. And then in post-production with Katya, we decided who is our hero, who is not. It doesn't mean that some people were better than another. But in post-production, in this puzzle, someone fits better.
Okay, so Ekaterina Veshcheva, it was also your work to do the post-production. So probably you have seen all these 25 people. I can imagine that it was as interesting as for the people who are finally made it to the movie, that the speeches, so the topics, the people were, the characters were speaking about were much interesting. So how was it for you to make, I mean, to have like this material shot and to be the person to decide what would be the best to put in and whom to put out?
Thank God I was not the only one in the process. There were three of us, Katya Zenovich and the editor Sergei Taraskin, and actually final decision was mostly on our shoulders, and the final decision was on Andrei Konchalovsky's shoulders. And Andrei Konchalovsky is a director. He's very brave. When he starts a new project, he never wants to know the goal, the final goal. He wants to search, to feel, to have a perception of the material, to see how the material reflects. And he doesn't want to take the real life and stiff it into some pattern or whatever. He always very sensitive to what actually footage and the objects, people, heroes, what they are talking, what they are telling him, what's their story. And it was way more than 25 people. And we just spent enormous hours watching all this footage, and we made a raw cut of every hero, and we just analyzed that and decided whether it's working or not. If it's not working, with no pity, we just put it aside. Sometimes there was a lot of pity actually, because one of the heroes, it was Alexei Trapitsyn, the postman from Andrei Konchalovsky film White Nights of the Postman. Mm-hmm. He's living in some stunning location, frozen lake, winter, his dog, lonely guy, snow around, and it was very big pain to finally reject this novel, to decide that it's not, it doesn't fit into the whole narrative. But when it doesn't work, you just feel it and you have to make your choice.
And was there probably for the director, for Andrei Konchalovsky, was there regarding the narrative, was there for him very quick a goal where he wanted to go by having this shooted footage?
He wanted to have a study. He's always looking at how nature, culture, history, landscape, how it all influences, what effect it can produce on a person who lives in this surroundings, history, whatsoever. And he wanted to make a study, to research in particular people, in particular time, in particular landscape, in particular country. I think he wanted to make a research. He didn't know what he will see in the end.
He always tell us, let's try.
Okay.
Should be interesting.
And how about let's speak a bit about the result, the content. So how was it for you all, for the director and for you both? how was it for you to see this result? Because it's quite contradictory in the film what the different people are saying, that they are like they have really some kind of like complaints and bad impressions, but on the other hand, they feel happy or lucky with their life.
Okay, I will start. Well, at the beginning, during the process, we had no idea. Maybe we will need actually to shoot Andrei Konchalovsky and to incorporate him somehow in the narrative. Mm-hmm. But and we had this idea up to the end, up to the final assembly, almost, when we assembled all the heroes together. And when Andrei Konchalovsky saw the storyline, he said, "No, we don't need anything. It's just okay like this. It speaks for itself, and we see something. We don't need me telling people what to see, what to look at, where to look at."
Yes.
And it works, really.
Yeah, it works. It works, of course, and it's quite interesting for somebody from outside of Russia, and even being very common with Russia. To see this contradictory between like what the people say, how they feel on one hand, but at the same time, the same person is doing some speeches which is like the opposite. One thing, for instance, I think it's also with the opinions about democracy. Like that it's something it's not for Russia. Was that surprising for you, or also maybe if you can say something regarding the question about God, about religion, which was the answers were much surprisingly for me.
In the very beginning, Andrei Konchalovsky told us that it's necessary to ask all the people the same question. And it should be very interesting how they react. And the questions are not so easy. For example, who are you? How to answer?
Yeah.
Who do you believe more, your president or your wife? And so on. It's very difficult questions.
Yes, and actually we cannot, I think Katya feels the same way, we cannot appreciate the film because we were too deeply involved in the post-production process and all this study, analyzing, looking the same material for numerous times. And the idea was actually just to make a print screen of a particular time for our country, Russia. What's happening, what kind of people are living there, how do they feel, and how do they answer to the same questions. We wanted to have like a mosaic picture, and I think we succeeded to make it this way, in this shape.
Yes, otherwise the film wouldn't have been chosen for the festival, of course. For me, it was as somebody who knows Russia quite well and also Russians, it was really surprisingly the question of religious, that there was the most answers were more or less against religion, and I was like really waiting more affirmative answers regarding this topic, that they will think that they believe in God. And I was surprised about the different answers, that it was not like a really clearly situation about what they think about religion. And I think one other very interesting point is like the question about the sense of life. When like of course I saw that it's also in a way in the post-production, in the editing, very well done, that nobody really has an answer about the sense of life, and this like really then at the end, this final remark that, oh, don't think about it so much. It's not so important. Maybe there isn't. Better not think about it. It's too complicated.
No, he didn't say it's not very important. He said it's important, but it's not necessary to have an answer.
Okay. So you both, you think the same? It's not necessary to have an answer for this?
It's necessary to think about it, and it's an answer.
Yeah, thinking about
every time you should think about it.
Yeah, but this leads to an answer. I like that way of putting this in the film, and that you have left it this way without giving an answer, because this is also an answer in a way.
You're right.
Yes, I agree. Whether you're having an experience or whether you're having an opinion, and it's not possible to have both at the same time. You have to, sometimes you have to choose. And actually for us, maybe it's more interesting to actually talk to you. I'm struggling with the temptation to ask you more questions, because it's very interesting for us how the film lives now, and what perception of film people having. Because even in Russia, even for the Russian people, it's controversial. Some people say, what is it? I don't know. It's some freaks. You don't love your heroes. No, we don't. We do love them. It's strange that you have this opinion. And some people say, wow, it's very interesting way of looking at ourselves. It's also very controversial. So we're very curious talking to people about it.
Was the film screened in Russia?
Not yet.
No.
During Moscow Film Festival, it was not a regular screening. It was just during the festival program. There were some screens, but not much.
Okay. So, but you have like a little bit a little bit of feedback from Russian audience, from like
after the festival, yeah.
And you plan to have a distribution in Russia?
We hope to.
It's hard to tell, because this is a particular time, and all the plans, they are I'm putting big fat cross on our plans. So
yeah, but originally you wanted to have it in distribution in cinema.
Originally, I thought the plan was to have it broadcasted on a TV, but now probably it's just not the best time to decide. I don't know. We don't know anything about it yet.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So me, unfortunately, I can't tell you any feedback from the audience, because, like, I mean, this is what was planned, that we all stand now in a very nice cinema, which was built like in the beginning of the 19th century, having a full house of audience who will have asked a lot of questions, I think, and discussed about the film. Unfortunately, we don't have the situation, so everything is online due to our situation here in Germany, also regarding the COVID, and we don't have that feedback, unfortunately, from the audience who is watching the movie now online. But
very strange year.
yeah, it's a very strange year, but I hope that maybe this film will also go to some other more festivals, and because it's really, for me, it was really interesting, and it gives a film, and it gives also a bit an impression about what Russian people are thinking about daily life, about their life in Russia, about big topics like politics, like society, like religion, and so on. And it's not, it's far from any of kind of let's say propaganda or like official statement or whatever, which is very often seen in TV channels or also in some different movies. And I think it's an important part also in this special year. And I mean special year because we have like 75 years of the end of the Second World War, which is an important topic. And it's I think especially also in this kind of year of anniversary year, important to have this kind of different film. Was it also your intention, or do you see it also in this context, or more or less, or not?
I don't know, it's hard to tell. We see it, we just wanted to make it work. We were moving in sort of intuitive way, not by the book. And when we said, that's it, we don't edit it anymore, after that, film lives on its own, and we don't know. We just wanted maybe to answer some basic questions with the heroes too, who we are, what's the sense of life, the meaning of life, and that's it.
Okay.
And then maybe maybe when some years will pass, we will have new look at this film, because past will add probably some new senses into the same film. It could happen. I hope so.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe in 10 years we will decide to make the same film after COVID, after the pandemic situation.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there are already some films about this topic, COVID. Let's see. Actually, it would really have been very interesting to be in the cinema in Cottbus now, because we originally planned to screen the film HOMO SPERANS together with another film, which is called A Letter to the Descendant, which is an independent film made in St. Petersburg, where actually the director asked also young people, young pupils in school about what they think about life and about the future. And I think this would have been a lovely discussion, which we have to postpone somehow. But I hope it will be possible to have that sometime, and to welcome you in Cottbus, and yeah, and that we can celebrate the film and cinema as we used to do it. So thank you very much.
Thank you
for being here online with us, and for all the audience who has still the possibility to watch the movie till the end of the week online on FilmFestival Cottbus streaming, and then to watch after this Q&A. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having our film selected for your festival. Thank you for this interview.
You're welcome, and keep us updated if you have new films.
Thank you very much. We will.
Thank you.
Good luck to this very particular Cottbus Film Festival edition online. Yeah, hopefully we will meet again in some other reality.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.